Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, depending where you are in the world, what time zone you're in. I'm the Drama Chick, and I don't really care for Thanksgiving.
Now, that isn't to say I'm against the idea of this holiday in theory. However, I really am not a fan of turkey and all the traditional Thanksgiving foods. Also, I find the story of the first Thanksgiving kind of suspect. Also, Black Friday kind of kills any goodwill this holiday had for me. And I don't think I'm the only one, because more and more I see that Thanksgiving is being slowly replaced by Christmas, which has taken over the month of November this year.
So, yeah, I may not be a fan of what the holidays become. However, I am really thankful for all of you out there who watch and support this show. So, in honor of that, I have decided that November from here on out will be Thankful For Month. Yes, that'll be when I will take a request from a Patreon subscriber. And right now, I'm going to take one from my biggest fan, Lavorus. Why is he my biggest fan? Well,
as you can see, on Patreon, I only have one patron. That's Lavorus. He gives me $100 a month.
So yeah, the list of Patreon people who could submit a movie for November was a wee bit short. However, when I get more people on Patreon, it will be one of them next, not Lavorus every year. It'll kind of switch it up. But let's talk about my favorite kind of genre film from Asia. Kaiju movies!
Yes, kaiju movies, aka movies with giant monsters fighting, stomping, and destroying. I fell in love with these as a kid, and I still love them today. Also, not all kaiju movies are from Asia. You may remember this one from Turkey Day a few days ago. But I love these things, and of course my favorite is Godzilla the Big G.
Guys, I have a shirt that says, I love Godzilla on it, because that is how much I love this genre. I could watch giant monster movies all day. And the thing is, Lavorus asked me, and I did tell him those were my favorite movies. And so he gave us this one. And Lavorus doesn't like subs. So, I'm going to reviewing the dub.
Get ready, everyone. Here is my controversial stance on sub versus dub.
I am not a big sub versus dub person. I am more of whoever won't make my ears bleed. In anime.
In live-action films, though, no contest. I go for sub all the way, never dub if I can avoid it.
Why is that? Well, to be honest, because in live-action Asian cinema, a lot of the times, there are multiple languages being spoken, and the jokes can be lost if everyone's speaking the same language. Here, look at this dub clip from Fearless.
Sign the death waiver.
Go tell him that taking life while performing has been a Chinese tradition. But we also do have the open hand of friendship.
He wants to kick your butt.
Now imagine Jet Li speaking Mandarin, and that guy needing to be told the translation. That scene is suddenly funny and not stupid. And that's what happens a lot when you dub a live-action Asian product. Also, the lip-syncing cannot be done as well as it can in anime.
Just look at any classic Kung Fu flick and you'll see what I mean.
But Lavorus wanted the dub, so here is the movie that Lavorus not only requested, but sent me the DVD of. This is Yongary, Monster from the Deep.
your tanks!
Yes, everybody, this is a kaiju flick made outside of Japan. This is gonna reek so bad. But let's get started.
So we start off our giant monster movie with the end of a wedding. Okay, strange choice, but well, I'll go with it. We also learn that the chick in the blue dress, whose name is Suna, does not and will not in a million years ever think of marrying Ilu, the guy in the gray jacket. So, of course, by the end of the movie, they are going to be a couple. We also figure out that Ilu is a workaholic because he wants to go to work instead of wasting time with these nimrods. Well, I'm not gonna blame him. And we get back to our happy couple, who are all happy until this strange light hits them, and they suddenly have a strong urge to scratch right when Ilu shows up, which is actually kind of funny. So, who is the cause of this pain? This little twerp with a weird ray gun.
That little kid is Icho. I do not like Icho. In fact, from now on, I am not going to refer to him as Icho. I am going to let Bert Gummer from Tremors give you the name that I will call this kid from here on in.
A little turd.
Yes, Bert. He is a little turd.
Well, our happy couple tell Ilu what the heck was going on, and of course Ilu, being the only person with a brain in this movie, immediately figures out who it is, and tells the little turd to come out of hiding, otherwise he's gonna get his ass kicked. Okay, he doesn't really say that, but I use that as headcanon. Well, the happy couple don't seem to mind the little turd, but Ilu, being smart, immediately just takes it and says, "Here's your problem, he was being a little twit." So, happy couple decides to go bye-bye, little turd says goodbye, and Ilu takes him into the car for a heart-to-heart on why he shouldn't play with strange ray guns.
We found out that the light ray causes severe itching, but there can be side effects.
I never said it was a good heart-to-heart. So Ilu takes him back to the lab and makes the little turd put the ray away. Back with happy couple, and oh my goodness, that's just wrong.
This movie was too cheap to have an exterior shot of a window? I mean, you could just green screen that in. They could green screen the 60s, right?
Well, our blushing bride is ready for her wedding night nookie. However, her husband is asleep. So she wakes him up and demands nookie.
Boy, I'm really tired tonight.
You can sleep afterwards.
Oh, you're not going to be a nagging wife now, are you, my dear?
Well, he eventually caves and they go to the sofa. Apparently, it's too much passion to go to the bedroom. However, since this is 1960s South Korea, nothing really happens because they are interrupted by a phone call or a call on one of the strangest walkie-talkies ever. Well, apparently this doofus happens to be either an astronaut or a very skilled pilot because he has to get on a spaceship in order to look at missile testing that is happening in the Mideast. They don't really say much beyond that.
Very well, sir.
Please get someone else, can't you? He's supposed to be here tonight.
I'm sorry, dear.
Oh, dude. That general has no sense of self-preservation because a woman denied her wedding night nookie can become psychotic.
And she punishes them all for this by wearing a stupid hat at the launch. Okay, all I gotta say is South Korean NASA looks a lot like a model kit in someone's backyard. I am totally not buying that as a real rocket. Also, the tension in this scene is very much killed when they show outer space. Yeah, I don't think this guy's in any danger because...
It's only matte painting.
Anywho, back to things that are actually plot related. So he has to stay in space with everyone else down on Earth until he goes over the Mid-East, where this random plane sets off some random bomb. And I still have no idea why South Korea really cares, considering they should be worried about North Korea. However, Ilu is getting some strange readings, so maybe there's a point to it. Also, of course, nuclear bomb wakes up giant monster. But we gotta wait to see that. Instead, we have the tension drama of the radio not working, so no one can talk to each other and everyone freaking out. Considering it's only been a few minutes, all of a sudden the newspapers get a hold of this. I still have no idea how that works. Well, that was completely moot because in the very next scene they get the radios working again and everybody's happy, everybody's celebrating. And Suna and Ilu are so getting together by the end of the movie. Okay, getting back to things that actually matter in this story. So, our guy who got married ends up coming back to Earth in front of one of the worst green screens in the movie. We also don't even see him exiting the capsule. Instead, we see him getting out and greeting his wonderful bride. Oh, by the way, guys.
The two people you saw get married and seemed like they were going to be the main people? Ignore them, they serve no purpose to the rest of the film.
Instead of getting to our giant monster, we have to deal with several of these boring scenes of these random people who we don't really know except for Suna's dad, talking about how an earthquake is coming straight to them from the Mid-East and not really affecting anyone else. Why this is never explained, but this scene goes on forever and is so boring.
Can we hurry up and get to the giant monster already?
Well, no, because that would be interesting. Instead, we have this announcement going over the loudspeakers and zoom-ins on several people who we do not know and will serve no purpose in the rest of the movie about getting ready for an earthquake. And then, thankfully, we actually get back to people who matter with Suna and her family.
Oh, Mother, I'm so scared. I know. Just don't forget your father. He'll find something.
I call BS on that. Ilu here is the only one who has any brains in this movie. Which is proved by these guys having discussion about nothing that has any purpose in this movie, which is thankfully interrupted when the earthquake happens. We then see chaos and destruction, which this reporter, who we don't know, sees in horror, and he shouldn't worry because...
It's only a model.
And a giant crevice opens up in the ground, which is where our monster will arise.
Finally, the monster shows up. It's only the 30-minute mark, and unlike Gojira, which had a great job building tension slowly but surely, this movie has a lot of filler, and it feels like it's been an hour.
Also, to continue on the filler train, we don't see the whole monster, we just see its back. And again, we have a close-up of this random guy who takes a picture. I guess another horrible composite shot. Also, I'm playing this next scene for you completely unedited, just so you can see the utter stupidity of the editing.
What does it want?
I didn't edit that, which again proves another issue with this movie. There's very little music. Also, here's a stupid discussion.
When I was a child, my grandparents used to tell me fables about a monster. He was connected with earthquakes. Yongary.
Enough of that stupidity in the name drop. There's the reporter who should be dead, who turns in his camera, which turns out to be the only point in making him so prominent. Anywho, they decide to turn the film into slides and look at it, and all we see is blurry dust, which leads to this stupid conclusion.
It's Yongary.
The mysterious moving earthquake has been identified as being caused by a gigantic reptile.
Will you just get to the giant monster already? These scenes are pointless. Yes, finally, we have the military or the police, it's never really established, in front of the hole when the monster appears.
All right, monster, rise! Arise! this right now. For a creature that's supposedly tunneled from the Mideast, which they don't establish a country, by the way. It could be any. So insert your own terrorist organization or a country that sponsors terrorists here, and tunnel all the way to South Korea. There's no way that monster could have tunneled 10 feet.
Now, the only way that I can describe this utter stupidity is if Godzilla, Gamera, and Barugan were put into a blender and made into mush. I could go on about this for an hour, but instead, let's just get to the military scrambling so they can fight the monster! That was so inspiring and not boring at all. Anywho, the people are fleeing and I like that lay of the table. I don't know why, I just do. Anyway, let's get back to the tanks about to fight Yongary in front of a horrible matte painting. And I know what you're all asking.
And yes, everybody, his mouth never closes. So the whole time you're watching a giant monster go, nom, 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 nom. Ugh. This is frustrating.
Worst part is, half the time when its mouth is moving, there are no sounds coming from the monster, which you can plainly hear because there's no music. Alright, let's just get to the miniature destruction.
Okay, guys, one thing I will give this movie credit for, the miniatures in these initial scenes are actually pretty good.
Yes, it looks incredibly cheap. However, they actually really do have some fun pyrotechnics that make up for it. It's always fun to see things get set on fire. Okay, back to our main people, because Ilu and Suna are now the main characters. And they're all talking about how they're gonna leave, and Ilu gives one of the weirdest speeches ever.
Come on, Ilu.
No, just do it. Nobody knows what to do this time. Either the generals or the so-called politicians. If I can help, I've got to see him first.
Real inspiring there, Ilu. They have absolutely no confidence. That is, except for the little turd who wants to go with him, and I'm all for it, especially if it gets him killed. Now, everyone, I'm going to show you my favorite scene in this movie. It has nothing to do with anything, but enjoy.
Repent! All you sinners repent! The Lord saith repent! The Lord saith repent! Seek ye repent, and ye shall be saved! Repent, you
I'm sorry, I just find that scene legitimately funny. Anywho, now these people are at a restaurant eating, with apparently the waiter being the only one intelligent because he pretty much says, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
Okay, I hope we get to see these idiots in the diner get stomped. Cause what kind of morons in Asia, when they hear giant monster attack, would sit around and eat? No, the proper reaction would be getting high, drunk, and partying.
Okay, these guys here got the right idea. Although, I am gonna say this right now, these guys can't dance!
Oh my goodness, they make Commander Shepard's dancing look good. Garrus, get over here and save FemShep from humiliating herself, please.
I'd so rather be playing Mass Effect right now. Anywho, back to the movie. Yongary is destroying the town in front of a stupid map painting again, with Suna searching the city for Ilu and the little turd. Unfortunately, Ilu finds the little turd before he gets stomped on by the monster, which makes me very, very sad. And Suna finds them both and convinces them to get the heck out of Dodge. But Yongary decides to have a different plan and knocks over a building, and of course Suna falls and can't get up by herself, which thankfully causes them to get separated, with Ilu getting hit by foam and now bleeding for some stupid reason. Little Turd, meanwhile, heads to the sewers, which smell like poo gas, so he's gonna feel right at home. And Yongary decides to knock over some more buildings, which for some reason do not kill the Little Turd. And again, we have more destruction, but unfortunately now it's gotten to the point of tedious. Anywho, the Little Turd somehow gets to an oil refinery, where, surprise, surprise, Yongary also happens to be.
Oh yes, we have Giant Monster and Little Stupid Boy in vicinity with each other. Time to make those fears realize. Kill the kids for pathos!
Instead of that, we just see our Giant Monster drinking oil, which is kind of curious why he'd go to Korea instead of staying in the Mideast. And the Little Turd shuts off the main valve so we can't get any more. And so Yongary, in a fit of rage, throws his plastic bucket into other barrels, which causes an explosion, burning all the oil.
Our Giant Monster was outsmarted by a kid. I hate this movie. I hate it so much. It hurts.
Worse yet, the Little Turd doesn't die in the fire!
To make up for that Little Turd not dying horribly, please enjoy Godzilla vs. Bambi. You're all welcome.
Okay, back to movie. So Yongary's tail hits this, which explodes and gets white powder on him, which ironically has the effect of weakening Yongary. And the Little Turd happens to see all this, along with the government guys via television. Anywho, back with Suna and friends, Elu is actually trying to figure out how to stop Yongary, while Suna and Mom are crying when the Little Turd shows up, covered in his namesake, and he explains to Elu what he saw, and Elu decides they need to go to the government guys and report it, which leads to dub dialogue in its finest.
They'll be using guided missiles. You better go. They're going to hit Yongary any minute. They'll be using guided missiles. You better go.
Deja vu. Deja vu.
Dumb dialogue like that happens so much in this movie. Anywho, the gang goes to see the government people, where Elu explains that he thinks that coal is the way to kill the monster, and if they use missiles, it'll just make him stronger, based on what the Little Turd saw.
All this in a child's story, eh? It is just a little ridiculous, you'll admit.
You saw it on the little TV screen! You saw what the kid saw! Proving that the child was pointless in your movie! The only point he had was to say it smelled bad!
Elu again further tries to put his point home, but is not listened to, so he leaves. Which actually leads to Elu discovering that the way to defeat the monster is through ammonia, because that is what caused the horrible smell. And for those of you who don't know, ammonia is what causes the smell in human urine. Also, the married couple is back just so they can get a helicopter to pour the ammonia on Yongary. And the Little Turd went and got the ray to point at the monster in order to lure it away, which was not part of the plan, but it works anyway. Unfortunately, it doesn't lead to the Little Turd's death, so they pour the ammonia on Yongary, while at the same time the missiles are fired, which leads the military to the mistaken point that it was their missiles that defeated the giant monster. Elu is, of course, genre savvy and knows he has to further his ammonia precipitate in order to permanently kill the monster. Also, guys, I really should warn you about this next scene.
What you are about to see is going to shock and terrify you. And unfortunately, it has to do with the Little Turd. I give you the infamous dance sequence.
Hey! He's dancing!
The sad thing is, Godzilla's got better moves than him. He's like a several-story tall ballerina.
Thankfully, the stupidity is ended by the police who get the little turd out of there, and we cut to daytime with another long, tedious rampage of Yongary destroying things. And all I gotta say is, these military bits are what the heck is going on?
Hold on. Rewind that. Play that again. Play it again. Oh my goodness. Yongary has stolen the power from Gauss. Okay, movie, are you trying to be a Godzilla ripoff or a Gamma ripoff? Make up your mind!
To save everybody's sanity, I'm just gonna skip to the end with Elu and friends getting the helicopter and dropping the ammonia precipitate on Yongary, which leads to a very long, drawn-out death sequence that lasts for about 5 minutes. I would show it all to you, but I love you, so I won't. However, we do learn that apparently Yongary was female, which when you really think about it kind of makes sense for why she decided to do her giant rampage.
She was just PMSing and had no access to chocolate.
Well, the day is saved by Elu, the only person in this movie with any brains, and so they have a big party at City Hall where I guess they get medals, and the little turd is hailed as a hero because he's the one who discovered the first clue. The end!
And that was Yongary, Monster from the Deep, and this one was painful to get through. Now, guys, you may not be able to tell from my review because I condensed it down pretty much, but this movie is 1 hour and 19 minutes long. 1 hour and 19 minutes! But it feels like forever because the pacing is pretty bad. Now, I will admit, some of the miniatures are kind of awesome, and you never do see the strings and all the airplanes and stuff, but dear heaven, the story is just bad. Looks like something that would be on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Oh, speaking of which, ding! Guys, we are on the cusp of something truly wonderful. Mystery Science Theater 3000 has started a Kickstarter. There is the link. It'll also be in the description below. Click on it. Share it. Give them your money! I have already given what I could, which unfortunately wasn't as much as I would have liked. However, we could have 13 new episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000. That is so awesome! But yes, we could soon have more episodes. And the only way that's going to happen is if we Misties, and even you non-Misties who just want to give the show a watch, can give. Because without MST3K, internet reviewers like me wouldn't exist. Every other reviewer on the net can deny it all they want, but it's true. But with that said, bye everybody, and hopefully I'll see you for Christmas. But, you know, thinking of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and how much fun they had roofing a movie as a group, kind of wish that I was reviewing stuff with other people. You know what? I'm gonna go reach out and talk to someone about doing a crossover on their show.
Hey everybody, so would you like to be the person for next year's Thankful Reviews? The only way to do that is support this show on Patreon. There's the link, and hopefully we'll be able to make more awesome content.